Our next question is, if I want to work in overseas development or mission, how can I do this in the right way and a way that honours God?
It's probably one for the two of you again. I'm sure you've got much more interesting things to say than I do, so I'm happy to chip in at the end if I think of anything, but I think you go for it, Steffi, Gina.
Okay, let me begin. How can I, if I want to work for overseas mission, how can I do it the right way? I would say the right way is, first of all, is knowing that God has sent you. Because if you send yourself, it will be starting from the wrong point, like I said in my video. When you start on the wrong note, it's difficult, you will struggle. So just know, are you sent of the Lord? Do you feel it's God's calling upon your life to do overseas mission? That's where it begins. And also, much as you're sent, are you depending on that sent you? Because sometimes we go, he has sent me, and then we start patching with our own other things, and you think, oh, my home or my expertise, are we depending on the Lord, the one who sent us to be able? So once we depend on God, we call it, as we train churches, we tell them, depend on God, point people to God. You yourself depend on God to be able to know that he will sustain, he will enable, even in difficult challenges that you face along the way, he is able to be there. So first of all are you called to go for overseas mission? And called by who? Not a mission agency. Are you called of the Lord to go and engage in this mission? And secondly, do you depend on the one who called you? Or we have some our other things that we need. So that is one thing that I would say, that you focus on the one who calls you. But also the other thing is, as we address and we go in mission, and now I'm assuming you're called of the Lord, passionate, a young person, being charged from Liverpool, discuss these issues, being equipped. Now you're on field, address wrong beliefs. And we have seen that the issue of poverty is people believe the lies of the enemy. People believe wrong things that are not the truth of God. And we know that truth brings life from the word of God. Truth from the word of God. I know now these days truth is relative. And that's why I add truth from the word of God. So truth from the word of God brings life. And so we need to be able to address the wrong beliefs. So many times we handle symptoms. You see an apple and then you think, oh, let me cut the branch. It will still grow. And if you want to deal with the problem, deal with the beliefs. The root cause of the problem will be bringing lasting change, and also will make the mission work that you're doing very fruitful and also transformative. That's two of the things that I think are very crucial as you do missions.
Right, that's amazing. I would also say, and I realize that being in Malawi, this is quite a hypocritical thing to say, but I can tell you honestly, and this is, just me being completely honest, is my husband and I question ourselves all the time, like, why are we here? Like, do we have the right to be here? And I say, like, right now we're here because we know we're learning, and we're basically we're here to learn, and we're trying to share as much of what we're learning with other people, but we are recognizing that we're incredibly lucky to be here. And I think that if we are from England, which I mean I'm guessing a lot of us on this call are, we do have to be in some way willing to kind of take the back seat in a way, and recognize that maybe it's not our role to be on the front line. And even for me, like, what I love the most is I love being in communities, I love facilitating, but is that the most effective and helpful place for me to be? No. Like, my Chichewa is terrible, you can test me. I'm learning, but I'm learning shockingly slowly. And so like most of my role, it's in the office, it's doing the unglamorous things, it's you know, writing things, it's writing papers, it's doing research, it's sort of generating this evidence base, and it's sharing the amazing stories that my colleagues in the front line are doing, and it's sharing them with other people, and that is how it's meant to be. And I think God calls people to their own communities, and so I think the best way that we can do development is by equipping local churches, local communities, but local churches and communities to break dependencies, to see the resources they already have, and then to solve their own problems. Like I was saying earlier with the story about the fish, it's actually that problem solving, the ability to solve problems for themselves using their creativity that God has given them. Exactly what Judith was saying about belief. So I'm sorry if that's not the answer that we were looking for this evening, but I think the truth is just that often our role, being from England, being in the global north, is to be willing to take that back seat and to actually recognize that the expertise isn't with us. The expertise is with the churches that are in those communities. It's they that know their own context. It's with the local experts, like my absolutely incredible colleagues at Eagles. Like, they've been doing this for 17 years. They themselves are Malawian pastors. And again, it's they are the experts. They do know their own context.
Yeah, that's great. And just to add on one final little bit of challenge, I think, and I guess is particularly thinking of those of you who are watching who are students at the moment with your lives ahead of you. I certainly notice, and with the students that I chat to and work with, we often can assume that if we're a Christian or we really care about justice, then the best places where we should be doing that are in the third sector, going into charity, going to aid work or whatever. That's great, and that will be true for some of us, and as Judith said, some of us will be called to do that, and that's fantastic. God bless you. Let's go. Let's do that. But I don't think that should be our default as Christians who care about justice. And I think too often it is. Too often we assume that if we're Christian and we care about justice, we should probably go into church or charity, and those are really the only two options. If not, we've sold out or whatever. I just don't think that's a good narrative, and I don't think it's true. And for just the real simple reasons, like, we need people who are going to go into business and who are going to create jobs in the global south, and good jobs where workers are honoured and paid well and treated really well. We need people who are going to go into law and fix broken laws that massively broken international laws that massively favour wealthy countries. We need people who are going to go into politics and fix trade and trade injustice and stuff like that. All of those big things, actually, those are real front lines for seeing justice done in the world today. So I guess that's just a gentle challenge to say, if you want to see justice done, frontline aid stuff is great. That's one way, but it's definitely not the only way. And for a lot of you, I think there are really good places where you can do that aren't necessarily going to mean going and being a missionary.